your host, Sean Myrie. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, right? We're on Apple Podcasts and we're on Spotify Podcasts, Down to Earth Network, even on iHeart Radio, Amazon Music, where you get all your podcasts. But recent news. Now, and I'm not surprised, but everybody got their reasons. Um, Senators, right? Senators, I was about to say Democrats, they want the removal of Donald Trump out of office. They're using the 25th Amendment, which I'm going to look up, um, to remove Trump from office, right? People are getting really desperate to take him out. Several lawmakers are calling on President Donald Trump's cabinet and Congress to boot him from office using a never before invoked provision of the Constitution. Some Democrats, including Rep. Yasmin Ansari, Arizona Senator Ed Markey, Massachusetts, and Rep. Sidney Kamlager, and Dove, California, called for the invoking of the 25th Amendment to remove Trump from office following news that the president sent a text to the Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr, right, saying that the United States plans to take control of Greenland, stemmed from him not winning the Nobel Peace Prize. I remember that shit. This is crazy, man. Right? Trump sent the text on January 18th, saying in part, considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars, plus I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace. So they want to try to take him out because of his text. The text had been described as a last straw for some Trump opponents, who called it an example of the president's ailing faculties. The president of the United States is extremely mentally ill. That's what they're saying, mentally ill. And it's putting all of our lives at risk, American lives. And Asari said in January 19th social media post, the 25th Amendment exists for a reason. We need to invoke it immediately. So they want to take out Donald Trump. The government is wants to take him out. There was a vote the other day with the tariffs that he lost, and Republicans, 6 of them, came together with Democrats to vote that shit off. So Donald Trump, they want to kick his ass out, right? Donald Trump is unfit to lead, clearly out of control. Invoke the 25th Amendment. Cam Larger, right, said in a post on the same day. Invoke the 25th Amendment. Markey said, right? The 25th Amendment they want to use. I'm going to look this up, man. This is what they want to put on Mr. Trump. What is the 25th Amendment? The 25th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution lays out the rules for succession for the president's office and those for the presidential disability or removal. So they're saying he's not fit to be the president. The first 2 sections of the amendment clearly clarifies that the vice president is next in line. Do you want that? The vice president Vance? Do you think that's going to be any better? The first 2 sections of the amendment clarifies that the vice president is next in line to take over if the president vacates office due to death. Oh, I see. Removal or resignation. So Vance is not going to do anything better. Do you think Vance is going to save people? It also details the means of filling the position of vice president if it became vacant previously. No new vice president would be appointed until a new president took office. So you would be the president, Vance, until somebody took office. The amendment created a process in which the president nominates a new vice president who then has to be confirmed by the majority vote in Congress. So, this 25th thing they're trying. Will it work? Will it work? I don't think it's going to work, people. I don't think. It's not going to work. The following sections outline a process for removing the president based is inability or disability. Section 3 allows the president to voluntarily transfer presidential power to the vice president temporarily through a written declaration of saying they are unable to fulfill the presidency's powers and duties. In this case, the vice president does not become the president, right? They want to invoke the 25th Amendment against Donald Trump. They want to take him out. This is recent news, breaking news. Will it happen? Is it because certain individuals might be in files? I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. Example, when this may be used, the president planning to undergo a medical procedure. He's not doing any medical procedure, so you can't kick him out as the president. 25th Amendment, they want to kick out your president. If you are American, right now, breaking news, they want to take him out of office. And because he's doing a lot of stuff. People, bring up the likes if you can. Please subscribe. Section 4 concerns the removal of the president who is unable or unwilling to perform their duties. He's performing a lot of duties right now. In this case, the president is incapable of serving but does not voluntarily transfer power. They can be declared unable to hold the position by the vice president along with the majority, either the principal officers of the executive department or such other bodies. It's going to be like a civil war going on. Salute Jonathan Thompson. Yep, salute Alicia Brown. So, uh, this is going to be like a civil war because this guy's not going to go down. This is recent news, right? If the vice president and cabinet members issue a written declaration to the Congress declaring the president incapable, the vice president immediately becomes the acting president. That's if that guy wants to kind of be the president. There might be, hopefully, there's no infighting. It sounds like there might be some infighting, but hopefully, there's no infighting. The president does not remain in office in this case, though the authority is temporarily stripped, right? In 2018 Congressional Research Service report said that in a modern scenario, the majority of the current or acting heads of the 15 cabinet positions would need to agree with the vice president to invoke the 25th Amendment. So it would have to be the vice president that turns on Trump. Is he going to do that now? Is he going to turn on Trump now? I don't think so. But if that was to happen, that would be interesting if that was to happen. The terms are unable and inability were left intentionally broad, according to the National Constitution Center. Legal scholars have cited impeachment, physical disability. They hope that he has a physical disability because he's turning 80, he's old, but he doesn't have one. Or political emergencies like kidnapping or potential scenarios for the use. So they would have to kidnap Trump. Everything they're trying to do right now. So you have to wonder, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Are they trying to protect something by trying to force him out now using this 25th Amendment? That's what they're trying to do, people. 25th Amendment they're trying to use to kick out Donald Trump. The MAGA people, are you going to support this? Are you gonna go protest if this happens? Theoretically, the 25th Amendment can be invoked by or against any sitting president. However, the bar for clearing its use is much higher than other actions like impeachment. Modern interpretations from scholars at institutes like Cornell Law and the Congressional Research Service say the majority, if not all, the acting cabinet heads would need to sign on with the vice president to put. The vice president's not going to do this. Why are they talking about this? They must be scared of some big stuff. Like I said, the shit's gonna hit the fan. So they're scared of it. Neither J.D. Vance nor any of the relevant cabinet members, Secretary of State, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Defense, Attorney General, Secretary of the Interior, Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of Health, and Human Services, and Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Veterans Affairs, and Secretary of Homeland Security have expressed support for removing Trump or taking punitive actions against him. So it's just wishful thinking that you're going to try to take out Donald Trump. It's wishful thinking. I'm telling you, what qualifies as being unable to serve as a president is a sticking point when speaking about Section 4. Yale Law School, for example, said traits like inept, lazy, or in tentative aren't likely to be bases alone according to historical precedents. So you're calling them the PDF, man. You want them to take him down? ADHD, bro. You want them to take him down, but they want to take him out, man. They want to take him out. They're trying everything, but it has to be JD Vance, the vice president, what kind of helps. And so far, I don't think JD Vance is going to vote against Trump unless he knows he could be the president himself, right? So you need the vice president to agree, basically. Even if Vance and other cabinet members were to sign a letter and send it to Congress, the president can take power back by declaring to the Congress in writing that no inability exists. The vice president and cabinet or a special body formed by the Congress would then have to object. And if Vance was to do that, that would be a weak government, right? That would be like him backstabbing Trump, right? Wouldn't that be? And then you would really see a civil war in America. So for this to go through, right, all these senators could do whatever they want. Vance has to say something. Vance would have to be with it. So that's not going to happen. Congress must convene within 48 hours of the 25th Amendment being invoked and have 21 days to make a decision. If the president makes a declaration that they are fit to serve and is not contested, he resumes duties. If the president makes such a declaration but is contested, two-thirds of the House and Senate must agree to allow the vice president to act as president. Do they want that? Until the president is considered able to serve and can file another declaration after Congress voted on the question according to the National Constitution Center. So they're going to have to vote this man. They need Vance. They need Vance. Will this be a coup, as they say? They need Vance. Has the 25th Amendment been used to remove a president before? The 25th Amendment was proposed in 1965 and passed in 1967, driven largely by the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Prior to its passage, 9 presidents were at least temporarily incapable by health issues, and 6 died, according to the Britannica Dictionary, creating questions around interim leadership and transfer of power. So they hope that Donald Trump basically dies because that's the only way he's going to lose his power. He dies. That's what I've been saying. And is he going to die? I don't think so. Not no time soon. Anything could happen, but that's the only way it's going to happen if he dies, or maybe step down. I don't know. Make Vance become the president. He might do that in maybe 2 years. He's not going to do that now. Section 1 and 2. The amendment were activated during Richard Nixon's presidency. Makes sense. In 1973 and 1974, he was villainized like Trump. When Vice President Spiro Agnew resigned and was replaced by Gerald Ford, who then replaced Nixon upon his resignation over Watergate. Nelson Rockefeller then filled the empty position of vice president. So, right now, this is the recent news. They want to take Trump out because of all the stuff what he's doing. But I think part of it is probably the files, all the file talk, what's going on. Section 3 has been formally invoked twice and informally used as a third time. President Ronald Reagan signed a letter mentioning that he was mindful of Section 3 before going under general anesthesia. Remember that, for a colonoscopy on July 12th, 1985, and named Vice President George W.H. Bush as acting president. I think I remember seeing video on that. From 11:28 a.m. until 7:22 p.m. when Reagan signed a letter saying that he was ready to take it back over. So, they could go back and forth. So they did do it when Reagan had surgery, right? And the first Bush took power for a little bit. So, because he had a surgery. Now, Trump, you guys are hoping Trump dies. Some of you're hoping Trump is sick so that could happen. The House, the senators want him out right now. This is recent news, people. So, do you guys agree to get Trump out, or do you think he should still be the president? Because right now they're trying to sign something, all these senators, right, to kick out Trump, to take him out because they say all the stuff what he's doing, but they need Vance. You need the vice president. And the vice president's not going to do that. And if he does that, it will be chaos in America. Do you guys want more chaos to go on in America? I don't think you want that to go on. Do you? I wouldn't want that to be going on. Like, it's like some infighting going on right now. It's like a civil war slowly building up. So they're actually trying to put this through. So are they gonna get Vance to take a side? That's what I want to know. Are they gonna get Vance to take a side? We shall see if Vance takes a side, because I know he wants to be the president. I know he wants to be the president. You see this? They're all in there doing their voting, coming together. They're talking Democrats and some sellout Republicans. Remember, he threatened some Republicans the other day that voted against him for the tariffs, right? So that went through. There's no tariffs on Canada anymore. No more tariffs on Canada because a couple of Republicans went and they voted against this whole tariff stuff that Trump was putting out there. So I think you're going to see a lot of people actually put this through. This is probably might go through, but not fully without Vance. It's going to go through. They're going to try to take him out of power, but it's not going to fully go through without Vance. Like, that's where it really is going to get hot, and really it's going to be a lot of talking, a lot of battling. This is recent news. So will Vance agree with this? Section 1 and Section 2 of the amendment were activated during Richard Nixon. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Now, let's see. I got to see some other news because they really want to kick Trump out, right? And where's all the MAGA supporters being quiet? Is Trump getting impeached? Trump impeached mid 2026 midterm. So this is not too long ago, right? This is why. Let's see why. We know why they want to kick him out. We actually do know why they want to kick him out, because of all the stuff he's doing. Who voted to impeach Trump today? What to know about midterm elections. So there's these midterm elections going on in America, which could affect a lot of stuff, people's lives. Calls for impeaching President Donald Trump are mounting as are his own fears of getting impeached again if Republicans lose the midterms. Here's what Trump said about canceling midterms and nationalized voting ahead of the 2026 midterms. That's why odds for the third impeachment of Trump's continue to grow in the wake of the additional Epstein files. So it's because of, much respect, Swamp Side, it's because of these Epstein files. Everybody's getting nervous that they might get locked up, who are probably Democrats, right? Here we go. Yes, U.S. politics, man. It's entertaining, Swamp, and they want to kick him out. They want to kick him out finally, because his politics is affecting the world. His politics is affecting the world. So now it's world politics. If he kept his ass quiet No one would talk about him. But the other day, when he said he wanted to make Canada the 51st state, he wants to go to Greenland and shit. He brought other people in it. If he didn't say anything like that, no one would give a damn. But when you bring in other countries in it, now other countries are going to talk about you. So now he's getting talked about. And we are talking about him now. Because the other day, like his whole thing with Canada, that he wanted to do these terrorists, they came together, the Democrats and Republicans, and voted against it. And no more tariffs on Canada. How come he ain't talking about that? Where's the invoking? Where's the revoking? You see how he plays with the American society and the world? He tried to put the tariffs on Canada, right? It didn't work just recently, and that didn't go viral. That he lost that. And people, please bring up the likes. That didn't go viral. Why didn't that go viral? That Republicans turned against them. So really, this probably is going to happen. The whole world wants his ass kicked out. The whole world wants Donald Trump out, not just in America, right? The whole world wants him gone, right? The MAGA people, I think they're turning on Trump, some of them. I don't think MAGA people are really, they're doing a bad job right now. The MAGA people are doing a real bad job. All the people who used to support Trump, they're losing. So they want to impeach him, right? Representatives Jasmine Crockett D. Texas said during a recent event that she would support impeachment proceedings against Trump, beginning with the use of terrorists. Yes, I think that there is more than enough to impeach Donald Trump, she said. Ultimately, do I think we should go through the formal process? Absolutely. So they want to put him through. Can't afford anything these can't afford anything these days. That's what I'm hearing from some fellow Americans, that the groceries are high price, then it's not too good. But this is who you got running the country right now. People aren't happy with Biden. So this is what I heard from somebody. Because of Biden, what he was doing, they had no choice to vote for Donald Trump, right? Americans want accountability and justice for their children. You're probably right, but the senators want this man out. Is it possible? Before I thought it was impossible. Before I thought it was impossible. But when you see the details that they could probably get his ass kicked out, maybe, maybe, hopefully, for some people, it does happen, right? But the vice president has to agree. How will you get the vice president to agree? Nonpartisan groups black out the system. Also continues to circulate a petition to impeach Trump over greed, corruption, and a lack of accountability in leadership, among other accusations. Okay, they want to kick him out. I'm not surprised they want to kick him out. And you're right. Americans want accountability and justice for their children. Skits Beats, you're right. Right? Uh, Chi Girl said, can't afford anything these days. Bad. President was impeached twice during his first term in 2019 over dealings with Ukraine, and the second at the end of the term over accusations of him inciting the Capitol attack January 6, 2021. He was acquitted in the Senate of both. Yeah, he was acquitted by both. But this time, is he going to get away with it? With the tariffs, they're going to use the tariff stuff. And I don't know what else they're going to use, but they're going to use the tariff stuff for the accountability. Trump continues to highlight the importance of this year's midterms. So the midterms are coming, right? Where all seats in the House and 35 seats in the Senate are up for election. Republicans maintain a slightly majority in the chambers of Congress at this time. A bit midterm cycles don't typically favor the sitting president's party. So, you know what's going to happen? I feel these midterms, this is like a revolution. I feel that the Democrats are going to get more power in the House, if you want to call it. I think Republicans they're not going to fight too much. because some of them want Trump out. I mean, to lose some power. Some of them don't like what Trump is doing. So, what happens if the Republicans lose more seats and the Democrats get more seats? A lot of the stuff what Trump is doing internationally around the world, he won't be able to do anymore, right? That's what's going to come. He's not going to be able to do all his madness like he was doing before. Here's what the president said about nationalized elections and canceling mid. Okay, that's what he said. Is Trump getting impeached again? 2026 impeach odds. So they tried to impeach him 2 times, didn't work. While Trump is not currently being impeached, there are discussions and proposed House resolutions for a third impeachment effort introduced, such as the most recent. Yeah, they want to impeach him. Tariffs aren't the people's issue. It's y'all outside issue fighting for our children now. If they're saying the tariffs is hurting, I'm hearing a lot of Americans saying the tariffs actually are hurting them. I'm hearing that. But you're saying swamp side tariffs aren't the people's issue. It's outside issue. We're fighting for our children. So what is going on with the children now? Because in Florida, they're trying to put through a law to, give the death penalty to people who are underage. To, if these sick, nasty predators grape them, they will go to get the death penalty. So I'm hearing about the children a lot. I'm hearing about the food prices are high, but the tariffs are hurting America. That's why they came together, right? So I'm going to give you this trafficking tied with Israel. You are right. Yeah, yeah, you're right. That's why Epstein's all in it. But this is what I'm going to tell you. Maybe it doesn't affect all states, but this is what I've been seeing. There was the whole tariff thing was supposed to go through a couple of days ago, right? What Trump was putting on Canada, and then 6 Republicans and some Democrats came together to vote against it, right? And when they voted against it, right, he threatened the Republicans who helped vote against his tariffs against Canada. And what happened, the guy from one of the, I guess, Democrats from Washington was saying that the reason we can't do that because we're allies with Canada. That's what he was saying, and our system is intertwined, right? Our economic system is intertwined with Canada, so we cannot do that. So that's why they didn't go forward with the whole tariff stuff. And Trump is not talking about this, right? Trump's not talking about this. So it's possibly they can impeach him, but they're trying to impeach him on the tariff stuff and threatening other countries. That's what they're trying to impeach him on. And I think they might have a case on it, even though I think that's why this Epstein stuff is really so big because they do have a case to impeach him right now because he did threaten to go to Greenland, take them over. He did threaten Canada that he will take them over. He showed his muscle going to Venezuela, so this possibly can come. Now, since Biden, which one was better? That's the question I want to ask. Was Biden better? Or because a lot of people was crying over what Biden was, they didn't like Biden or Trump now. Which one is better? Right? And like you're saying, Swamp Side, trafficking tied with Israel. Yes, trafficking is tied even with South America. That's why he said he went there. Because the cartels was known as traffickers. Correct me if I'm wrong, the drug cartels. So he said, neither. He said neither. You rather no, none of them. So what's going on, man? Swamp said, what's going on? Who do you guys want? Who, if you're American, who you want to be the president? Because they're saying it really can't happen for the Senate to vote Trump out unless Vance is with it, unless the vice president he really wants to be the president and he goes with uh, the other side. The only way Trump could be knocked out is Vance. The vice president turns against him. We need a new system altogether. Damn, that would be, the only way that's going to happen, Swamp Side, a new system, the only way that's going to happen is some type of civil And I don't think people want that in America. Some type of civil war to happen for a new system. That would be big. No one wants, like, the Constitution. Everybody holds up the Constitution big in America. So a new system would require them changing the Constitution. It's happening now. You think? I believe so. I believe what you're saying. Who's changing it though? Who's changing it? Who's changing it, man? What Trump did to he say about national voting? Who's changing it? Because he sees U.S. versus policies versus ICE. Yeah. Oh, you heard about those policies ICE putting out? It's not good, brother. The policies what ICE is trying to put out is not good. Yeah, you people need to go out and fight or protest against not just Trump, but against ICE because they're trying to take away your freedom a lot. I've been talking about that for the last 2 days, how ICE is, they want to know everything about you. It's not just people who are immigrants. The ICE want to know everything about you. So maybe, right, there's a bad and there's a good with this. And this is what I'm going to say, the bad and the good. The good thing is them not, ICE I'm talking about, which is Trump, right? Is them not knowing everything about you. You will have the First Amendment up strongly. They want to take that away from you and know everything about you, put surveillance on you, know where you live. The lists continue. Like, the list is so long. What ICE wants to do right now, they want to kind of go undercover, right, and do their sneaky spying on American civilians, not just immigrants. So they do have a case. There is a case right now out there to, I guess, get rid of Trump, right? Get rid of Trump, but then I'm going to put the other scenario there. Is this because the Epstein files? Is this because there's certain people who are in government, right, who are actually guilty of being involved with that whole, all these files, what we're talking? And there is. I already broke down some of that. There is some people in regards in the government who were involved in some type of way, association with Epstein, right? So it's very sticky, the situation. So if you get rid of Trump now, just say you get rid of Trump, just say this is a fantasy. You get rid of Vance too. You get rid of Vance and you get rid of these guys. It will quiet up. You won't hear anything about those files anymore. I guarantee you won't hear anything. I guarantee that will happen, and they will need, and they all need jail time. Yeah, they all need jail time. But I guarantee, I'm going to tell you guys this: if Trump was to get, just say, kicked out as the president, impeached or whatever, and even Vance wasn't there, these files won't be exposed anymore. You won't hear about anybody. You won't hear anybody talking about it. So you have to really look on that. Why are they pushing now to impeach him again? Trump's comments came days after FBI searched and seized original 2020 voting records from election office in Fulton County, Georgia, related to the Justice Department efforts searching for alleged voter fraud in the county. According to officials, it was a swing state that went blue in 2020, helping Joe Biden secure a presidential win. So he's after them too. Like, it's like a war. It's a political war going on, right? Trump is searching to get people in trouble like Obama and Biden, and then, yeah, it makes sense now. It kind of makes sense. Not just Trump, anybody involved. You're right. New system running. You're right. You're right. But how will the new system look? How will the new system look? That's the question. How's the new system gonna look? Because a lot of Americans love the old system. What will the new system be? That's my question. So we have states that are so crooked. This is what it says. We have states that are so crooked they're counting votes. We have states that I won. This is what Trump's saying. That show I didn't win, Trump said. Now you're going to see something in Georgia where they were able to get with a court order. The ballots, you're going to see some interesting things come out. So, because he's accusing, just say, politicians of, screwing him up, he's going after politicians. And a lot of these politicians are senators. If they're guilty of that or even being associated with the Epstein stuff, of course they want Trump out. I'm not trying to defend Trump, but I'm just being realistic. Of course you would want Trump out if you are guilty of something. Is Trump canceling the 2026 midterm elections? He probably wants to cancel it. I could bet. Is Trump canceling the 2026 midterm elections? While speaking to the Republicans last month about the importance of winning the midterms, Trump mentioned canceling the elections and in the same sentence said that he was not actually calling for such a move. So he doesn't want anything to change right now, right? So the Senate is really trying to vote him out. They're trying to make him remove him. But in removing him, you need help from Vance. And is Vance going to help? That's the question. I don't think so. How does Vance feel about Trump? I think a lot of it is Vance. A lot of the stuff what's going on, it's not necessarily Trump. It's Vance. He said he had the worst. So he said this. This is what he said, Trump, the first term. He said he had the worst president. What? He said they had the worst president, did the worst job. They had the worst policies they have ever run against these people. Now, I won't say cancel the elections. Let's see who said this. I want to clarify this. Actually calling for the move. Okay. So, against the people. Now, I won't say cancel the elections. They should cancel the elections because the fake news. He loves to say this stuff. The fake news will say he wants the elections canceled. He's a dictator. They always call me a dictator. That's Trump. Trump noted the slim Republican majority in the House ahead of this year's midterm election and the importance of a win. So he said it's very important for them to win. Of course it is. The president went on to encourage the House Republicans to campaign on his priorities and avoid shedding seats in the midterms. They say that when you win the presidency, you lose the midterm. So you're all brilliant people. Most of you are in this business longer than me. That makes me smarter than you. What? See what he's saying? Most of you people are in this business longer than me. That makes him smarter than you. That's what he's saying. Because look where I'm. He says, "Look where I am right now." Right? No, it doesn't. What? It doesn't. But I wish you could. See how he talks? I wish you could explain to me what the hell's going on with the mind of the public because a what? We have we have the right policy. They don't. They have a horrible policy. They do stick together. This is the president of America, the actor, right? The reality star actor. It's not good, people. 2026 midterm predictions. Who is favored to win in 2026 midterm elections? According to the latest Economy YourGov poll on February 9th, right? I mean, February 9 point, no, no, February 9th, 36% said they vote for the Democratic Party candidate. 31% said Republican and 30% said other. Damn, it's split almost. Not sure or no vote if midterms were held today. So either way, they want to take this man out. They want to take this man out of office. They don't want to see him around anymore, creating any more drama because He's making America look crazy all around the world, not just to Americans. Trump is making America look crazy again all around the world. It's not just America, people. It's all around the world. So they want to kick him out. They want to kick him out, remove him from power, put him out of power because he has a lot of power now. He does. He's screwing up the reputation of America all around the world. So they have him on two things why they want to take him out. They're saying because a text to the Norwegian president about taking over Greenland, right? So that's why they're saying that's inappropriate. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be messaging people of like what you're gonna do. It's like a threat, right? So they are definitely targeting him, and not surprised why they wouldn't target Trump for taking him out. But how are you gonna make what's his name, Vance? How is Vance gonna deal with this? You guys need Vance, the vice president. Is the vice president gonna agree with this? That's what I want to know. Will the vice president agree with all of this? I don't think so. I don't think you're going to get the vice president to agree with this. Vance agreeing with taking out the man who put him there? Nah. Everybody's reaching right now. They're reaching. People saying they want a new system in America. Can the 25th Amendment be used to remove Trump? Let's see. Right? Because this is the big news. What is the 25th Amendment and can it be used to remove Trump from office? Okay, let's see. So it says President Trump's renewed push to annex Greenland seemingly at any cost has led to the calls for his removal. So there's recent news, right? There's recent news of him threatening again. That's crazy. When asked how far he will go to acquire the Kingdom of Denmark's territory, Trump told reporters on Tuesday, "You'll find out." Don. The response came after weeks of the White House refusing to rule out using military force to annex the island. Trump sparked global outrage over this weekend by threatening to tariff European allies until Denmark sells Greenland to the US. He's set to come face to face with some of those countries' leaders. Okay, that already happened. That already happened. So it doesn't look good. Rep Don, okay, yeah, he kept threatening people. He keeps threatening people. So they want to take him out. This is what's coming. But what is he going to do in response? How is he going to protect himself? He will do anything to protect his power right now. So soon, probably they're going to turn it up on these Epstein files. They're going to try to put a politician or two really in jail right now. I guarantee they're going to put a politician or two in prison if they can. So this could be, the distraction. He needs something right now. Trump really needs something because they're breathing down his neck. They're breathing down his neck. They want him locked up. That's what it is. They want him locked up or kicked out. Either locked up or kicked out. I don't think they're going to get him locked up. Some people think that he's going to get locked up in prison because of the Epstein stuff. They're saying if he has bad health, they could take him out if he has a bad health situation. But then the vice president will be in charge. So, do you think Vance is any better? You guys think Vance is any better? I don't think so. I don't think Vance is any better, right? JD Vance is not going to help America like how you want. JD Vance is still going to be loyal to Donald Trump, 100%. So, I think actually the Democrats and the Republicans, some Republicans, like the other six, I don't know how much it's going to take, but the six that turned against him recently might be recruiting other people. So it's possibly they might get something through to kind of threaten his power. They might. they might get something through. People are wishfully, they want that to happen, right? So the 25th Amendment they're going to use. The 25th Amendment ensures that the United States will always possess a functioning president and vice president, and that in the event of the president's removal from office, it provides for a prompt, orderly, and democratic transfer of executive power according to the Constitution. So it has to go like that. It was introduced following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963 and ratified by the Congress in 1967 to establish a constitutional procedure to transfer the president's power. So will it happen? I don't think so. The law, but it seems like it. People are wishing. You see these people, they're all in there, right? They're hoping that it could happen. The law is implemented across the number of scenarios, including if the president dies or resigns. If he dies, you're probably going to have to wait for that. That's the maybe the only way it's going to happen if he dies. If he resigns, no, he's not going to resign. And if he was to resign, it would be maybe 2 years from now, near the end of his presidency. If he resigns while in office under Section 1, by that time he would have done a lot of damage. And or the president themselves withdraws from the position. The only way he'll do that is unless he's really sick himself, right? And he doesn't want anybody to know, and which can temporarily under Section 3, right? If it is decided that the president is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office, Section 4 of the amendment can be used in such scenarios. The vice president will take up the position of the presidency. So you're for Trump, respect to Trump, but they want to kick him out right now. DRM, they want to kick his ass out. They don't want to see him anymore. And that's what's going on. They don't want to see him anymore. Senators are going against him. When was okay, I told you that. Can the 25th Amendment be used to remove Trump from office? They're saying it can be, but it's kind of shaky, right? It's going back and forth that it can be used to remove him from office, but you need the vice president to support that. People, please bring up the likes if you can, and subscribe. You need the president to support that. I mean, the vice president to support that. And I don't think he is, unless he has his own agenda for power. Do you think Vance is going to be a better president? If that was to happen, do you think Vance would be? A lot of the things going through is Vance. I hope people know that. A lot of the influence is the vice president, people. So what else could happen? What's else going to happen? So they're really fighting for this today. This is recent news. This is recent news. They want to get the man out. And you know why? Because he's doing too much. Sometimes, you got to be quiet, Trump. You got to silent down. You got to not be too, talkative. You got to kind of disappear because right now your position is under attack. It's really under attack. Is Trump getting impeached? People want him impeached. Can Trump be removed under the 25th Amendment? Uh, Only at certain situations if he's sick, right? Only if he's sick or if he dies, and that's it. If he has an operation, and it will be the vice president. But how do you get the vice president to do that, right? Scrutiny grows over Trump's competence, right? The Guardian. That's Democrats call to invoke the 25th Amendment against Donald Trump. The Democrats. And there's some sneaky Republicans who's with this whole thing, right? Damn. Sneaky Republicans are with this whole thing. Several Democrats have called for Donald Trump to be removed from office via the 25th Amendment over the Greenland actions. So they're going to use Greenland. I knew that. So they're using him, the Greenland stuff, to get him out. But Canada, 51st state, they have actually a case because he threatened Greenland, right, that he would go there. He kind of threatened Canada, and he threatened some other countries. So if that's the case, if they can use that, then, and if the American people do agree with that, that's the thing what could kick him out. That's what you could use to get rid of Trump. Since assuming office, Trump has said that the US needs to acquire Greenland for security reasons, sparking backlash from Greenland and European leaders who have defended Greenland right right to determine its own future as a self-governed territory. So, they're going to use that. All you MAGA people, he made a mistake. Or is it a mistake? No, it's not a mistake. He said he wants to take over Greenland. So they could use that. I always wonder, you can use that to, like what he was doing. He like a dictator. He's trying to be a dictator, which he is a dictator. They can use that to get him in, I guess, impeached or remove him, right? Writing on X, various Democrat politicians have questioned this policy after Trump ramped up tensions on Monday and sent a letter to Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr. Gahr, I think that's how you say the name. Gahr, right? His desire to take Greenland. So this text, what he's doing, get him off the internet. This text, what he's doing, is screwing up his whole presidency. Why are you doing text, man? White House spokesperson Anna Kelly told Newsweek President Trump was not elected to preserve the status quo. He is a visionary leader who's always generating creative ideas to bolster U.S. national security. Many of the president's predecessors recognized the strategic logic of acquiring Greenland. That's what he's saying. Other people were recognizing that, but only President Trump has the courage to pursue this seriously. As the president said, NATO becomes far more formidable and effective with Greenland in the hands of the United States. So he's guilty of saying all of this, right? Would be better served if protected by the United States from modern threats in the Arctic region. Who's the modern threats? He says China and Russia, and he's in bed with them. Who's the modern threats? Who's the modern threats? China and Russia? If you're good, you say you're cool with Russia, you're not really that cool with China, but you're on and off with China, right? So that's why they're calling for the removal of this guy. Why it matters? Calls from Trump's political opponents to remove him from office are not surprisingly, but they show an increased level of ill will towards him. The key clause in the amendment, Section 4, allows the removal of the president against their will and has never been used before, so invoking it would be historically significant. Are they going to be successful with that? You think that's going to be successful? However, for it to go ahead, Trump's cabinet would have to support it. That's not going to happen. And no cabinet member has thus far indicated they want to remove Trump from office. Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He's not going anywhere, man. He's not going anywhere. I think part of it too, it's not just that people are tired of his crap. I think there's a little ingredients in there of some people scared of themselves being brought up in the Epstein files, right? Because Trump is the one who released that. So I think some of it is some people are scared they're going to be brought up into this whole Epstein stuff and being tested. They have to testify. That's why. That's part of it. And then part of it is the madness what he been doing all around the world. I have to admit. Part of it is that. Not all Republicans with Trump. You're right. So it might happen. You're right. That's what I've been saying earlier. There's the tariffs, what he was trying to hit on Canada the other day. 6 Republicans, House vote, right, joined some Democrats to vote against those tariffs, and they're dropped. They're dropped. The tariffs on Canada are not through. So you're right. Not all Republicans are with Trump. So it can go through. Let's see. I don't know all the politics, but I'm hearing that Vance has to work with that. And some of the cabinet people would have to work with that. So if that goes through, it's because people are turning against him in his own party. So will it happen? It has to be his own party people. What do you guys think of it? And please subscribe. What do you guys think of that? Do you think that it's going to go through? That they're going to actually, the Senate is going to actually be successful of kicking out, removing Trump? Because there's only a couple things that could remove him. Canada about to be another. It's no, no, it's not. You wish. Swamp side. No, that's what they could kick him out for, right? So I don't think he wants to push that swamp side. They're saying, right, in their whatever the law, they're saying if he, because he done a text to the Norwegian president or prime minister about Greenland, that they could use that to get rid of him, right? Because really, he's kind of bullying another country's sovereignty. So they're saying they could use that against him. So I think he wants to be quiet about Canada now, right? Canada got China with them, right? And I am in Canada. Will Alberta, Canada for now. And I am in Canada. You're in Canada, digital warrior. Well, Alberta, Canada. Oh, they should. Those people should get locked up who say they want to break from Canada. That's treason. If it was Americans doing that, they would lock them up, right? That's treason. Get rid of him and his clown cabinet. So they're saying it's going to take Vance right now to kind of do that. And Vance, the vice president, is he going to do that? I don't think so. You have states. I don't think Vance is going to do that. They need the vice president to help, or Trump has to be sick. That's what they're saying. Donald Trump has to be sick, or he has to step down. Will that happen? I don't think so. Who's going to stop us from taking China? That's why. That's what's going on. China and the whole world. Swamp side, I'll tell you, the whole world would stop. It would be World War III for real. If people don't want a war, where even a lot of Americans would die, right? He can't. He doesn't want to come to Canada because what would happen is China would come to the defense of Canada. All of Europe will come to the defense of Canada, and some other countries I'm not naming will come to the defense of Canada. That's what would happen. So that's what would happen. When you're going against Canada, it's not just Canada, right? Compared to America by themselves. When you go against Canada, it's going to be a World War III fully happening. Texas can leave the Union. So China hasn't come to the defense of anyone. Well, they're with Canada. I'm going to update you right now. They're with Canada. America, the part of the why Trump is angry because Canada has a deal with China for cars, electric cars. And then Canada and America are going to start building cars. So that's what's hurting, that will hurt the American economy. So Canada's smart. They got China in their back pocket and India. Remember, there's a big population of Chinese in Canada. If people don't know that, right? We could say that. Everybody has their opinions. How did they screw Canada? That's what I want to know. They are imported, not built in Canada, but that's coming. I looked up the research. They're going to be building them in Canada too. They're getting imported in Canada from China, and they're going to be building them. Some companies in I think Quebec are going to be doing some. They're going to be a couple companies are coming together with China to actually build them, not just import them, but build them. That's an update. But taking over Canada, and you're Canadian too. Do you believe a digital warrior that America could take over Canada? Digital warrior, 6.5 on 40K. Yeah, it's going to be like $30,000 for those vehicles. America is a powerful country with a powerful military, but if you come to Canada, it's going to risk America getting hurt, right? Yes, with 2 days. You think so? But you know what would happen? This is what would happen. I'm going to tell you this would happen. First of all, a lot of Americans would not agree with it. It would split America up because there would be a percentage of Americans who would probably rebel against their own government, and then there would be a civil war within America on top of them coming to Canada. And if they come to Canada, yeah, they could do whatever. But if one, two bombs hit New York City or hit any certain targets in America, it's gonna hurt more Americans. And I don't think Americans want to be hurt because just one city in New York gets hit. That's millions and millions of people.
just with building. You remember World Trade Center, right? So imagine that, a lot going on, right? Imagine that going on a lot. And it's not like you're just fighting Canada, right? Canada did modeling low 2 days, every major city taken over. And then what would happen is China would come. That's what would happen. China would come into the mix. And then India would come into the mix. And then Europe would come into the mix. And then it's a world war. It would turn into a world war. It wouldn't be Canada, America. It just would be a world war. And that's why they want to kick this guy out. Because before Trump was around, no one was talking about taking over Canada. No one was talking about it. This is only Trump. So they could use this against him. They're going to kick him out, or attempt to kick him out, right? They're going to attempt to kick him out. That more, I should say, like that. They're attempting to get him out. Anyway, good chat. I need to, yeah, much respect, Digital Warrior. What's going on now? If they come to Canada, it's world war. I'm going to be straight up telling you. It's going to be a world war. It's not going to be Canada and America just fighting. There's too much countries in Canada, like, who are loyal to Canada, and you have a big population of Chinese citizens, or people who immigrated to Canada. You have a big population of people from India, so you're gonna be fighting China and India, and a big population outside of Israel. Right? This is why it's not gonna happen. The most biggest population outside of Israel for Jews are in Ontario, Canada. So you come here, you're fighting Israel too, right? Jews, much respect, much respect, much respect. I have enough Jews for a gift, much respect. But yeah, right now, that's not going to happen. Senate wants to take Mr. Trump out of power. They don't like what he's doing. Um, will it happen? Will he get help from the Republicans? It seems that there's a couple people who are Republicans who do not like Trump either, right? Okay, it won't be a fight. It's a swift move. We'll take we will take your king. Who's the king? Which king? Man, so upset. Stop talking to who? Which king? You have no king. You have no king, man. What king? Fighting Canada, I would say that with anyone. Fighting Canada is fighting the world. It's just World War III, y'all, and maybe that's what people want. Just World War III. That's what would happen. You'll be fighting all the UN countries. That's what would happen. Even some African countries. That's what would happen. It'll be all England. For sure, it would be England. For sure, it would be probably even Italy, and I can't name all the countries in Europe, but it'd be a couple countries in Europe. The only ones who would support America would be Russia. It probably would be Russia, the so-called enemy of America. It would be Russia that supports it. Let me tell you that, because Russia has beef with Canada, because Canada is supporting Ukraine, right? So it would be Russia. That's who would be supporting America. So this is what would happen. Russia would be with America, and China would be with Canada. So if you want the real world war, come to attack Canada, because that's what would happen. And it'd be kind of twisted, because you got to look on it now. Who's laughing behind the scenes if America was to really do that? It would be Russia and China, because Russia and China are together. So I don't think, no one wants to do that, because something sinister would be behind the scenes, that Russia and China are close by. Do we want that? I think Americans want to stop that talk, or whoever's talking that, because that's kind of a sinister plot, because Canada's cool with China a little bit, right? So imagine China comes to the aid of Canada, and then Russia, they dip themselves in it and say, yo, we might help you, America. Like, we will come to help you, America, in any type of way, because we don't like that Canada is supporting Ukraine against us. They supported Ukraine to fight us. So meanwhile, just imagine Trump allows Russians to come to America because China so-called is helping Canada. Just imagine he allows the Russians to come because China's with Canada. I think what would happen, the flip would be, is Russia close by, China, close by, the same two people he says uh, is the threat for Greenland, would come and take over America. That's the flip. Russia would come and China would come, and it would be World War III stuff. Like, I know a good amount of American politics and Canadian politics, and really do my research. But what would happen is you would get a World War III, which is going on right now. It's economic World War III. It's going on right now. People, please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. What's going on right now is an economic war, right? It's an economic war, and they could use these threats, what Trump's been putting out, to take him out. I'm hearing that's the only weapon they got to take him out. The only weapon they got to take out Trump is him threatening other countries. They could do that. That's what they're going to use against them. Him threatening other countries. Trump isn't going anywhere. I kind of agree with that. I don't think Trump is going to go anywhere. Right? I think part of this is some politicians are scared that they might be in Epstein files, or their names are going to be brought up. So let's get rid of him. That's what it is. I don't think he's going to be taken out unless he dies himself, unless he dies of old age or somebody assassinates him. I don't think he's going anywhere. But the whole point is that you got senators right now saying they're trying to work for his removal to be out of office. But with that, you need the cabinet, and then you need Vance, the vice president, to work with that. Are you going to get Vance to work with that? Or correct me if I'm wrong. Are you guys going to get him? Hello. Okay. Much respect, Steve, joining the chat. Yeah, I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I really don't think. The only way he's going to go somewhere is being assassinated, or he steps down, or, yeah, his health. That's it. You guys are praying for basically Trump's downfall. A lot of people in America and around the world, but I think he brought that on himself, right? And people, bring up the likes if you can and subscribe. I think he's bringing this attention on himself from all the stuff he's been saying. So this is what they're using against him. What people are saying. Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gar, right? Spelled Gahr, said in a statement on Monday. This is Monday. Norway's position on Greenland is clear. Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Denmark, and Norway will fully support the Kingdom of Denmark on this matter. We also support that NATO, in a responsible way, is taking steps to strengthen security and stability in the Arctic. As regards to the Nobel Peace, because the Nobel Peace Prize they didn't give Trump, that's why he's mad. I have clearly explained, including to President Trump, what it is well known that the prize is awarded by the independent Nobel Committee and not the Norwegian government. So this man's petty, man. He wants to he's petty. That's why he said he wanted to take over Greenland, because he didn't win a Nobel Peace Prize. What peace has he brought? Yeah, the 35th Amendment. They're saying they want to try to take him out. Distraction, distraction. You're right, Prince cash you out. Distraction from the Epstein shit. I'm gonna be straight up, because people's names are being brought up, and the Senate wants him out. The Senate wants him out right now. That's what they're saying. So it's up to some rebel Republicans, as Trump was stating, to backstab him, right? And they hope Vance, that would be the biggest surprise if Vance was to support it. And then that would be like a kind of civil war brewing in America if Vance was to do that, because they're trying to promote Vance. That's the only way. So they're going to use him basically in these text messages recently. I didn't know, this is recent news, that he put some text message to the Norwegian prime minister about, what he wanted to do. He still wants to take over Greenland. Still wants to do that. President Donald Trump wrote
on Truth Social, NATO has been telling Denmark for 20 years that you have to get the Russian threat away from Greenland. Unfortunately, Denmark has been unable to do anything about it. Now it's time, and it will be done. So he's not backing down. I knew he wouldn't back down. People, please subscribe, bring up the likes. I knew he would not back down, Mr. Trump. What happened next? As Greenland saga continues, Trump wrote on Truth Social. He loves doing this on his social shit. He's getting in trouble for a lot of this. On Saturday, that the U.S. will implement a 10% tariff on goods from Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and France, Germany, the United Kingdom, Netherlands, and Finland. See, this is what I'm saying. Him taking over what? The whole world is against America because of these tariffs. The whole world is against it. And don't you love Trump because your name's like it. Don Trump. Okay. It's your own people crying. They're crying. They're crying to be free from Trump. It's your own people crying. It's nobody else. It's their cabinet. Don't you see this? They want him out. Don't you see what's going on? They want him out. The own cabinet wants him out. Certain people want him out. You might say Democrats. There's some Republicans who want him out. So they're crying. Some Republicans want him out and some Democrats want him out. So it's a lot of people who want him out. They want to remove him. But is it going to happen? I don't think so. Right? Nobody's crying. Yep, nobody's crying. We are getting Greenland sooner or later. Let's see if that happens. They want him out because he is exposing them. I agree with that kind of, Don Trump, I kind of agree with that. People, please like if you can, bring up the likes. I agree with that. I think they want him out because he's behind promoting these files, what is gonna bring out more names. So yeah, you're right. I think that's why they want him out. I'll agree with that. But it's getting messy in American politics. It's getting messy with the politicians, right? It doesn't look good. But they're gonna use what he's been doing around the world to say he's out of control. We need to remove him because no president has done the same stuff that Trump has been doing. Nobody has done that, right? Yeah, it's a movie. You're right. So they're using. He's guilty of that. You can't not admit. You cannot lie. No lies. He's guilty of threatening other countries for no reason, right? He was crying over not winning the Nobel Peace Prize and blaming Norwegian president, and it wasn't him. It wasn't them. That's petty, right? So even if he wants to take over Greenland, right? What is that? Is that legal? Isn't that like a dictator stuff? Previous presidents would say that's dictatorship. Let's take out Trump out of the way. All the other presidents before would say that's dictatorship. If somebody else, if another country was to do that, right, that would be considered dictatorship, right? Or is he following Russia? Maybe he's following Russia's lead of doing what they're doing with Ukraine, right? Like going to Ukraine, and the reason for the war in Ukraine, they feel that's theirs. So he's following Russia. We got aliens to talk about, and we are here. We are all lost. Aliens? The alien stuff, man, don't get me on that, man, with the alien business. Don't get me on with that alien stuff, man, because there's a whole big conspiracy with that shit. If I believe in aliens, I don't believe in the aliens are coming from outer space. I believe for that, I'll tell you, I believe the aliens are right here on Earth already. They're already here on Earth, and a lot of them are from Earth. Right? That's another story if you want me to talk about that, right? Obama just said it. No, he corrected himself recently. And he didn't even say it clearly. I read what he said. The person asked him if he does he what, believe in aliens. He says I swear he says he believes in it, but he never seen any. He didn't witness any being a president. And in regards to Area 51, he never he never doesn't know anything about that. So that argument is thrown out the door with the alien stuff with Obama. I thought MAGA used to scream
No new wars. Guess I heard differently. That's interesting, Tony Barden. Yes. They said what? No new wars? And now they want war with everybody. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Bring up the likes if you can. But yeah, you are right. Thought they said no wars. Didn't they take out a whole bunch of people out of Iraq? Didn't they take a whole bunch of people out of Iraq? Then Trump says he wants to make sure he takes out a whole bunch of people out of Iraq, which he did. And then now he has them in other places. He did. He did the backstroke so fast that Michael Phelps is impressed. You're right. He changed it. No likes for being ignored. Oh, I didn't see you, man. I didn't see you. MAGA will change every change Trump says. Okay, MAGA's losing right now. They're losing. The alien is the president of the United States. Maybe Trump is what you call a shapeshifter. Maybe he's one of those what it's called what's the name I had for him? The reptilian. Maybe he's really a reptilian because they say the reptilians feed off of negative energy, right? I could give you that picture. Maybe Trump is really a reptilian because they say that they feed off of negativity, and that's how they control the world. That some of the elites are reptilians, right? So is Trump one of them, or is some of the government people that, right? Could be, could be. If you believe in aliens, you could believe in almost anything, right? Can't you believe in anything? I don't even have that picture anymore. If you believe in aliens, you could believe in anything. Trump only has his hardcore base, Biden to Trump voters going back to them. You're right. A lot of people are mad because of Biden, so they just voted for Trump. You all keep talking about distractions. The only thing that matters is ending the wealth disparity. Well, basically, just fix your broken. Yeah. Well, Trump is rich and he doesn't give a damn. Trump is rich and he doesn't give a damn. No, that statement is fact. Trump only has his heart. Okay, so you're saying Robin Wiscott, you how many just took that statement as fact? Yeah, a lot of people took what the Obama statement. Was it the Obama statement you're talking about? Like fact? Nah, it's not fact. It's not fact. It's not fact about the alien stuff, man. I don't. I'm not saying that there's no alien, but look on the definition of the alien stuff. Look on the definition of the word alien. That's all I gotta say, right? But right now, Dems are any better. We need a new party. You need a new party? You think? You think that's gonna happen? You think there's the Republican Party, there's the Democratic Party, and there's the Tea Party, right? Do you think there's need for a new party? You're probably right. So I'm saying I believe you. I support that. They need a new party in America. Can that happen? Let me know. Could that happen? America needs a new party to rise up, the People's Party, if you want to call it, if it's not already there. You need a new party to rise up because it seems the Democratic Party and the Republicans are both corrupt or been corrupt for a long time. You need more than one party. I think there is other parties, correct me if I'm wrong. You need at least 3 to 4. Let's balance it out. Make more parties more relevant. So then you could change this whole system that's like a dictatorship. Need a new party? See, a lot of people are agreeing with that. New party that is open to good ideas for either side of the. You know what? They should do a vote on this. One in the chat if you believe you need a new party, two no. One in the chat if you believe you need a new party, two no. I think see, it looks like a lot of people, Americans, believe you need a new party. It seems like a lot of Americans believe there needs to be a new party. One, okay, you believe there needs to be a new party, right? One. Sheesh. A lot of people believe in need it. One. Everybody believes it. Go on. I don't know if the MAGA people, I don't think the MAGA people won. A lot of people are supporting this new party stuff. Mega MAGA people, even the Democratic people, doesn't look good, especially with these Epstein stuff with Republicans and Democrats implicated. You're right. I think there needs to be a new party in America. Too much money in politics. Billionaires only donate to two parties. Maybe it might change right now. these billionaires, because these billionaires are getting exposed by both parties. It might change, right? It might change right now because both sides are getting exposed by both parties. Don't you think? People, bring up the likes if you can, share the live, right? Please subscribe. Um, I think it needs a new party. I like this argument. I like this debate, if you want to call it. America needs a new party. There's a new generation, of course. Things have changed socially in America a lot and around the world. So I think it's time that America, if you have to have some type of conference for a new party to emerge. The People's Party or whatever, the people have the power, should show the power. You need it, especially with them taking away your freedoms. Like right now, ICE wants to take away a lot of Americans' freedoms. I'm telling you that now. Corruption is easy when those politicians already are networked. Yes. So you do need a new system. It's like the police force in New Orleans years ago that they got rid of all of them because all of them were corrupt. They clean sweep the New Orleans Police Department because they found a lot of them were corrupt. So you're right. Let's clean sweep the parties if you can. I don't think that would happen. A revolution would happen. A civil war would happen. You need a new party, but how do we start? How do you start that? How do you start a new party? You know how that would happen? You see, like the civil rights time, right? Which that's when a new party should have happened, around the civil rights time. But you would have to have people going around the country doing a campaign, right? Going to state by state by state to get the support. And once they go state by state by state to get the support and use social media and get, maybe just say they got millions of people to agree with this, then it probably could be imposed. The Tea Party has evolved in the MAGA, you're right, and there are many parties: libertarians, Green, yeah, there's Green Party, conservatives, Democrats, socialists, which just another communist party, and we have the traditional communists. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Luis Gonzalez. Yeah, but maybe we need something what's more promoted, because all those other groups you're saying, they're not really known. Need millions to run a party. You're right. For elections, you need too what? Too many mom and dad donators to compete for advertising. Doing dirty deals nationwide won't work. So no hope, no hope for that. It seems it doesn't seem that there's hope for a new party, like a freshly, new party. You know what I think? Charlie Kirk was on to doing something like that for himself, because even though he aligned himself with the Republicans, I seen something building with Charlie Kirk, that Charlie Kirk would have probably started his own things. Bless up OG Kicks, right? I think Charlie Kirk was on the way of doing his own thing with his you know, his new whatever what's the name of Charlie Kirk's movement? I forgot. I would have to look it up. Right? With his wife, and he was assassinated. Some people say he was assassinated, right? So I think Charlie Kirk was that guy. I think if Charlie Kirk was still alive, down the line he should would have been that person. Maybe it wouldn't be the Republicans, because he was with the Republicans with Trump. It would have been something else. And I'm hearing that his organization is the reason Trump became the president the second time, because Charlie Kirk's influence, he influenced millions and millions of young Americans to vote, and Charlie Kirk was behind that. If it wasn't for Charlie Kirk, maybe Donald Trump wouldn't be the president. That's why they want to do a statue in the honor of him. That's why his what's Charlie Kirk's organization? I want to know. Charlie Kirk. And they want to get rid of Trump. They want to kick him out of office. Kirk's wife pregnant already? Are you serious, man? So I'm saying, tell me if it's fact or fiction. Come on, really. If that's going on, come on, man. There's something up. Oh, definitely. Charlie was going to be president for sure. Mike Snyder. Yes. Is that facts? If Charlie Kirk's wife is pregnant, he just died recently, man. That shows you something. Nah, holy, I can't even believe this stuff. That has to be lies, man. That someone saying it's lies. Don't believe it. Swamp side, your dear Americans are saying it's lies, man. I kind of don't believe it either. Right? People, please subscribe and like. JD Vance is the father. Imagine that. Oh, Lee. Imagine if he's the father. Candace Owens probably said it. Yeah. Imagine if people are putting JD Vance saying he's the daddy and stuff like that. Imagine if that's true. People, please like, subscribe, and comment if you want, right? But imagine that. So what was Charlie Kirk's organization again? Because that would have been the party in place, right? Right now they want to remove Donald Trump. They're this is the new news, people. This is the new news. What's going on? Removal of Donald Trump, which almost seems, not saying possible, but it's going to be a fight to remove a guy like this who they said the cabinet has to vote against him. A couple of Democrats, what they're going to have to help. A couple of Democrats are going to have to help. Will they help him? That's what I want to know. Will they help depose this man, get rid of the orange man? Will they do? Won't happen. He's to use full. So you say it won't happen, they won't get rid of him? We shall see. We shall see, people. We shall see. They're saying if Vance was to go against him, it could happen. What do you guys think about it? Do you think Vance is the key? Too useful for the rich. Well, he's kind of screwing up the rich right now with these Epstein files. He's making a lot of these rich billionaires scared, the ones who know who he is, right? So, what are we saying here? He's going after billionaires right now. He's going after wealthy people. He's the wealthy people. He's the one who helped release the Epstein files, right? So right now they want to take him out. Cut it out, bro. Tony is saying, cut it out, bro. Tony is saying, cut it out, man. That's what OG Kicks is saying to you. Cut it out. Cut it out. Was Trump removed from office today? This is fake news. Faculty. Was he removed from office today? Remember, they're saying something about the government right now with these midterms. The article may be outdated. Consider refreshing it. Refresh. Let's see. Refresh it. All right. He's not. It's fake news. He's right with some of the fake news, people. He's right. Trump is right with the fake news. And please like and subscribe if you can. Can the 20th, what is the 20th Amendment, 25th Amendment? Lawmakers call for Trump's removal. That's what they want. USA Today. The 25th Amendment, how is Trump incapable of performing his duties? They're going to make up excuses like he's too old, he's senile, or they're going to use that he text the prime minister of the Norwegian country, and that's against the 25th Amendment. That's what they're trying to use right now, right? Why didn't we use the 25th Amendment on Biden? They should have. Shit, they use. So this is what they're gonna do, right? This is what they're gonna do. They want to take him out 100%. Right now, they want to take him out. The Senate, they're calling for him to get out of there. That's what they're doing. Let me see. They're trying to block this. They're trying to block this. Let me see. So what is the 25th Amendment? I already told you guys what that is. So they're going to be doing this. This is what they're going to be doing. Some Democrats, including Rep, yeah, I said that. Okay, what else? The text. So they're using a text. A text has been described as the last straw. That's what they're saying. A text has been used as the last straw for some Trump opponents who called it an example of the president's ailing faculties. The president of the United States is extremely mentally ill. So they're saying that he's mentally ill, right? That's what they want. I agree. No more two-party systems. Usher Vance is what? Vance is pregnant with their fourth child. Okay, I don't know about his wife, but they're saying that he has mental illness. Trump, right? They're using this whole thing to say, yeah, saying he has mental illness. You can't trust his judgment, right? That's what they're saying. People, bring up the likes if you can. If you're in the chat, you're using the mental illness stuff. Okay, so who do you think will run for the Democrat Party? They have a guy right now. I've seen his picture around. I don't know his name exactly. He's young. He's not that old, right? Who they're going to use for the Democratic Party. But they're saying, conspiracy theorists are saying that Trump might be the last president. There's a book, right? Somebody wrote about the last president. So do you think, and it's kind of scary for Americans, that book, right? So Trump might be the last president. If a war happens, there won't be no elections. If a war breaks out, there will be no elections. Trust me, right? If a war was to break out or civil war was to happen and martial law came around, Trump's not going anywhere. I'm telling you that Trump's not going to be going anywhere. The only place Trump's going to go is either he dies, right, by old age, or somebody assassinates him, and that's it. But the probe will pick him. He will be over quickly. I wish the old NC governor would. So, yeah, he's not going anywhere, people. People, bring up the likes if you can, and please subscribe, right? So, this is why they're saying there's a text, the last straw. They said the text has been described as the last straw. That's what Senate wants, right? So Senate today or yesterday, it could have been today, these guys, right? They want him out. He said it's the last straw, his text. And he's saying he has mental illness. Mental illness. So the 25th Amendment exists for a reason. We need to invoke it immediately. Immediately. They want him gone immediately. Agreed. Trump will do part of 3 terms. I think what he's going to do, he's going to play with people. You're right. I agree with that. DS Kings of Kings. I agree with that, what you put out there. People read that. I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to be in power for a while until he does a lot of damage, and then he's going to slowly bow out, right? Get the likes up, people. Yes, he's going to slowly bow out, Mr. Trump. But this is what's going on. This is the recent news. They want to remove him. But in response of him being this even going out there, you guys should be scared because every time Trump is threatened and pushed in a corner, right, he reacts. So what will he react with after this? By tomorrow, I'm going to say what he's going to react by Friday, right? It's not entirely his, I don't know, you say fault, and loose the violent militia. So he asked what? So you're saying Stephen Smith, he asked taking it, he put it in his own Supreme Court. So what's next? If you're going to fight against Trump right now, I guaranteed he's going to do something. It's done. What do you mean when he takes over? Listen, all of this, people are playing with a man, a dangerous man right now. I'm going to call Trump dangerous, right? Dangerous for the world. For you guys, for the Senate to say they want to remove him is going to get backlash. We need Roy Cooper, a new president to run. He might go Democrat, maybe Steve. So this is what's going on, right? In the chat, everybody in the chat, please like, bring up the likes and subscribe. This is what's going to happen right now. Should be scared. All the people talking against Trump in government, right? He's going to throw something else out there. What do you think he's going to do? Screw Trump and his evil ways. Davis Funky said, we don't have the will. We all know what has to happen. So people, I'm happy that the MAGA people are in here because I want to ask you guys, what do you think about ICE, what they're going to be doing to you guys? Part of this is because the other day, what I was talking about. Part of all of this stuff is because Donald Trump is giving ICE the keys to watch all over America, to know everything about you. And if you criticize him, which I was telling you guys, it's the last days. That's why you got to kick it. That's why they probably want him to be kicked out. If you criticize him and the Republicans, they can focus on you, spotlight you, and maybe soon, maybe they might even arrest you, right? MAGA loves what ICE is doing. So MAGA people don't care about their the First Amendment. So the MAGA people don't care about First Amendment. Let me know. The MAGA people don't care about the First Amendment, right? The real men stand together to remove the threats to our way of life. So Josh Brooks, you want Trump to be gone? Right now, he got the ICE out there threatening to take away your freedom, your First Amendment, with harsh surveillance and knowing your location, everything about you. You could even look up the TikTok stuff about their new requirements on that. Black, brown, and white, we stand together. That would be nice. That would be nice in a fantasy world, but they don't all stand together. Black, brown, and white, they don't stand all together. You could see it in American culture. There's so much separation. Black, brown, and white don't stand together. Where all the civil rights leaders were when ICE was in Minnesota? Where's all the civil rights people when ICE is in Minnesota doing all that? Where all the black people? There's some people were out there, but where they at? Where they at? I heard a lot of FBA talking against. I heard a lot of FBA people supporting Trump. A lot of people support. I'm not counting the little bits pretending to be men. Oh, people, we had to fight the war to stop half of us from owing people. We do not have this in us. Oh, man, you guys are fighting against each other. It's bad. I see a civil war in the future, not too long, far future in America. It's brewing right now because of this guy. Hopefully, you don't get a other guy like Trump. I hope you don't get another guy like Trump, right? Because you guys weren't happy with Biden. Remember, Biden was supposed to be the savior. Remember, he was supposed to be like the savior, Biden, from Trump. What happened with that? I kept hearing people complain about Biden. That they had a lot of hate. A lot of people, both sides had a lot of hate for Biden. Then now he's gone, and Trump's here. Now people are complaining about Trump once again, right? Yep, yep. That's real secret of humanity. So yeah, people, bring up the likes if you can, and please subscribe. So, like I said the other day, the freedoms of America, right? The First Amendment, what you call, that's going down the toilet right now. That's going down the toilet if ICE really imposes their surveillance laws. That's going to be going down the toilet. Um, I don't know if you guys are updated with what ICE is planning or what they're doing, but it doesn't. It's not good, and it's not just for immigrants. It's for all citizens, 100%. Right. So this is a combination of guilt, and maybe it's a good like guilt of the Senate who wants to remove Trump. It's a combination of things. It's mixed up because some may feel they might be threatened and named in the Epstein files. Some might be really honest and saying this guy is out of hand. He's doing too much. He's screwing up our allies. He's screwing up our relations around the world. Right now, it's kind of dangerous for Americans to even leave America, right? We are not complaining. The media is complaining, and some are. Okay, so Steve, you're just telling everyone don't fight. There's no point. A swamp thing. We have the will to do anything. Okay, Josh Brooks, we want to remove the people that are in the Senate. Well, let's see if that happens. The Senate wants to take him out, right? Government people want to take him out right now. Let's see if that happens. They will all want to take him out. They're making a vote to take him out. Will it happen? I don't know. It's not that simple. Yeah, it's not that simple. They can't just take him out like that. But they're using text messages as the evidence. They're using him doing all types of crazy stuff around the world as the weapon, right? Yes, it's that easy. So you got some people saying it's easy, some people saying it's not that easy. Which one is it? Which one is it? Is it easy or is it not that easy? I'm confused. Steve, it's you guys going back and forth. People, please bring up the likes and subscribe. So there's people saying it's easy, and there's some people saying it's not that easy. Whew, you guys are fighting. This is an example of what's going to happen in America: civil unrest, civil war, because you got some people who are Democrats, some people who are Republicans, some people who don't believe in anything like any parties. But one thing you have is a man who's in charge right now, called the president Donald Trump, who's doing a lot of talking and threatening a lot of people. And so far, I'm going to give you an example. When he done the tariffs, right, for Canada, he lost that. When he put the tariffs on Canada, he lost that fight. And that's facts. That's not making up. There's no more tariffs on Canada. So the people who believe in Trump, do you believe in him now that the stuff what he puts out sometimes doesn't fully go through? Why are we like this? Half of us picked him. Yes, half of you guys picked him. He said 70 million Americans voted for Trump. 70 million about, because he laughs at the liberals. Yes, yes. Yes, they said 70 million people voted for Trump, right? And then his first election, people are accusing the Russians of helping him. And that's why he wants to he said Obama should be in prison because Obama is behind sabotaging him to become the president the second time in a row because of the rumors of the Russians and all that stuff. Have charged their mind, have changed their minds. Well, I know for a fact a good amount of black Americans do support Trump. Maybe quietly, but they do support Trump, right? So I'm saying, let me know, man. You're a black American. Tell me if any of the people you know likes Trump. He pardoned a lot of rappers, man. Remember, he pardoned a lot of these rappers. He had to call Nicki. Yeah, yeah, Nicki. He called Nicki, but Nicki's not really even American. I think the overreaching point is this: people are so desperate to change in the U.S. They voted against their interest. You're right. And like six black women. Okay, no serious conversation can happen until we accept this is a battle for souls. You could be right. Black women knew what Trump was. Yeah, and Trump's still the president, right? Trump is still the president. I think my opinion, maybe from 2000, maybe before. Okay, I'm gonna count from 2000 from Bush. All from Bush came in power. All these presidents we see, including Bush, were put in power. Obama put in power, Biden and all them, they're put there. I don't believe they were just all elected just like that. I think there's influence from bigger powers to put them where they are, right? That's why we can not ever see eye to eye. Guy starts with agreeing with you and then a bit, okay, so what he says, because there's dumbasses like Steve. Damn, you guys are going back and forth, man. Holy, please be nice. Please bring up the likes if you can, if you're in the chat, especially all the ones who are debating. Bring up the likes if you haven't already. But yes, you're supposed to hate them. Okay, old people love Trump. Old, so you're saying white? Is there no old black people who like Trump? Because I swear Candace Owens, right? I swear she supports Trump. She's black. If you just say female, sound like he's not a MAGA. Steve Smith is. I guess he's not MAGA, right? I'm old saying all people support Trump. I think there's a lot of black people in America that support Trump, and it's because he's been in the media for a long time, right? He's on social media. He supports these rappers like Kodak Black, Lil Wayne. He pardoned them. He shows up at the UFC fights. So he's down. He's showing people he's down with urban culture, right? So you're saying Josh Brooks, I'm a liberal ex-con recovering addict. Oh, okay, you voted for Trump. He released a lot of if you want to say ex-convicts and stuff. He released a lot of people. He pardoned a lot of people. So yeah, the hood supports him. I could believe that, right? I could believe the hood supports him. And people are going to make it look like all black people are against him and all black people are Democrats. That is propaganda. I was a hardcore Republican for 2 years as a teenager. Then I developed a spine and went the left. Huh? The hood. Swamp don't believe that. Swamp don't believe it's the hood. Swamp don't believe, he doesn't believe it's the hood, right? So there is a good amount. I just want to say there's a good amount of black people who do support Trump. I seen it. I seen a whole bunch of famous people, especially celebrities, talking for Trump, right? It's sad that me and mine are smarter than all these educated idiots. But right now, like I said, this is the main story, and I could go back to it, and it's limited information of the removal. They're just using him threatening uh, a country. They're using him, saying he, well, not saying using him, but they're using what he said against Greenland. Soon they're going to bring up what he said against Canada. Soon they will bring up other things what he brought up to remove him from presidency. But like you guys are saying in the chat, it's not enough, right? You guys are saying in the chat it's not enough. JD Vance, the vice president, he has to agree. He has to agree to remove Trump. That's going to be hard. The cabinet has to agree to remove Trump, right? I know the world wants Trump gone. The world wants Trump gone. So they're going to use him doing tariffs all around the world to get rid of him. They're going to say the tariffs is hurting the American economy to get rid of him. They're going to say all this stuff to get rid of him, right? They're going to use a lot of stuff to get rid of him. And they do. People bring up the likes, subscribe if you can. So they're going to bring up all the stuff he's been doing to get rid of him. And he has a whole list of things to get rid of. I thought the 34 charges before he became a president would have been enough. But that's not enough, right? The Epstein stuff is the distraction. I said it over and over and over and over and over again. The Epstein stuff is the distraction. So people want to look into that. Meanwhile, now these senators are really fighting to get rid of Trump. Democratic senators and undercover Republicans. I know a few Trump supporters, but they're not in the hood, maybe trailer park or communities. I take both intelligence and wisdom because I am a human being and can strike healthy balance. That's DS Kings of Kings. Okay. I said the name policy. Yeah, policies. So they're getting them for policies, right? US policy, is it, what's the policy of threatening to take over a country? What's the policies of threatening to take over a country? What could happen? Because he did threaten to take over the country. Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed, as a president, to threaten a country if they're not threatening you? That's what they're basing this whole thing off of. Can can, can they take over a country? Because he has taken over a country right now, Venezuela. He's taken over a country, right? Trump derangement syndrome, all criticism of my whatever is sickness. Okay. So the Constitution and federal laws ensure continuity in leadership when a president can no longer serve. If they die, no, I don't want to know about that. Order of presidents. Can he take over a country with no backlash? I don't think so. Can't. I don't think so. I think he's done a lot of shit. Can president of country Let's see. Can they do that? Could they do that? Can the president attack another country without final law? Could a modern day U.S. president? No. Can the president declare invasion? Can the U.S. president declare war? No. Yeah, of course they can. Of course they can. Right? I need my president to know how to fight, bro. You don't think he knows how to fight? You don't think he knows how to fight, Donald Trump? People, bring up the likes if you can and subscribe. You don't think he knows how to fight? So it says the US president is not supposed to be able to start a war without authorization from Congress. Did you get that? But the last several decades have blurred the lines regarding what military action a president can take without first obtaining congressional approval. So he would need that. But he went to Venezuela and didn't give a damn, right? Can the president of the United States begin a military conflict without congressional approval as a commander in chief in the US military? How much control do they have? As you might expect, the answers aren't simple. A president is not a king. Let me give you guys that. So he's not a king. Founding fathers wanted to avoid giving one person the authority to plunge a new nation into war. While the office of the president was crafted with George Washington in mind, the creators of the Constitution realized that those who follow might lack his virtue. Trump, humility. Okay. As such, was left Congress to declare war. This was considered well established constitutional law. Didn't he start war by going to Venezuela? Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that like starting a war? Because they didn't fight back, really, right? As such, okay, so it's still unequivocally true that only Congress has the power to declare war. So that's why he didn't say he declared war on Venezuela. He just kidnapped the president and the wife. They have done 11 times, last time being during World War II. It's understandable if you're scratching your head. Remember, Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, and other conflicts that sure seem like wars. While Congress has only declared war 11 times, it also approved 180 military operations through the resolution. So those were military operations, people. Afghanistan was a military operation. Wasn't Iraq a war? Correct me if I'm wrong. This is where it gets complicated. A couple of examples may help illustrate. In 1950, President Harry Truman sidestepped Congress by going directly to the United Nations. Trump doesn't do this. Then 5 years old to the authorization military action in North Korea. The UN did authorize military action, and Truman used U.S. troops to carry out the police action. In 1990, President George W. The, President George H. W. Bush believed a military response was required after Iraq invaded Kuwait, while while Congress declared a joint resolution authorizing the deployment of troops. So that wasn't a war. That he had the right to deploy troops, regardless what would have done so, even if it led to his impeachment. Bush felt it was vital for U.S. economy and security interests. That sounds like what Donald Trump is doing with Venezuela and saying what he's doing with Greenland, right? For security issues. That's what is going on, right? Ultimately, congressional resolution rendered the issue moot. However, it left a gray area regarding when a president can oversee deployment of troops even without a declaration of war. So that's Trump's using another tactic. That's what he's doing. But they're trying to use other things to get rid of him in Congress. I mean in the Senate. The Senate. Okay, the commander in chief, U.S. military, the president makes all final military decisions during wartime. This includes deploying troops, invading hostile countries, which he already done, sending spies into enemy territory, which he already done, not using nuclear weapons yet for you people. You don't want him to do that. Congress has also expanded and retracted the president's wartime power in 1941. The first War Power Act gave President Franklin D. Roosevelt temporary control of many congressional powers to enhance efficiency of the war effort. These were repelled after the end of World War II. So let me go down to this Greenland stuff, cut out all this stuff with the resolution in 1973. What does this mean for Iran, Greenland, and Panama Canal? I don't know why they're adding that, but I'm going to give you guys this. And people, bring up the likes, subscribe. When it goes to 25 likes, I'll start reading your comments, right? Earlier this year, Trump administration seemed to focus mainly on Greenland and the Panama Canal. Why? As potential sites for military action. So he says military action, not war. However, recent events in Iran have brought these questions back to the forefront of a very real way. Iran, right? On June 21st, 2025, the US military attacked 3 nuclear sites in Iran. Remember that, people? Congress did not approve the action. Congress did not approve the action, right? And has not declared war. So, because Congress did not approve Mr. Trump, there was no war. Iran hadn't attacked the US targets, but Trump's administration claimed that Iran's nuclear program meant the attacks were might go on, right? So, people, bring up the likes if you want me to read out your comments. Congress could pass the legislation limiting the president's war powers, but would need to gather enough support to override almost a certain veto from Trump. Why didn't Trump veto the thing, the tariffs? What he lost against Canada? Oh well. Okay, veto from Trump. Representatives Roy Khanna and Thomas Massey submitted such resolutions. Oh, so what's going on? What's going on, people? Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Bring up the likes. I'll read out your comments out loud, right? So, Greenland is territory of the Kingdom of Denmark. It became a Danish state in 1814 and was fully integrated as an amped. That's why they've been talking against Trump. In 1953 till 1979, Greenland was granted home rule. The U.S. had long had a friendly friendship with Greenland and established a military bases in Greenland during World War II and still maintains its rent-free Pitufik space base. Hmm. Hmm. So that's what Trump is talking about, saying that they owe them something. Pitufik Space Base, formerly known as Thule Air Base. The U.S. made an offer to buy Greenland from Denmark in 1946. That's why he's bringing it up. 1946, not Trump, America offered to buy it for $100 million. The offer was not accepted. So America already tried to get Greenland. Denmark is a NATO member. It's difficult, if not impossible, to find legitimacy for the U.S. claims about attacking Greenland. That's why they're going to kick his ass out. I'm just telling you that. That's why they want to take him out. I don't need to read no more, right? That's why they want to take him out. What do you think, people? Nationalism is a problem. Yep. So they do have a defense to take him out of his position. They do have a defense to take him out of his position, right? But it's not the first time America was trying to take over Greenland. So Trump does his research He gets people to do his research, and that's his defense. It's not the first time, right? So it's not the first time America tried to take over or offer Greenland money. It's not the first time, people, right? Slavery, okay, people are going back and forth, back and forth. But, anyways, America's in trouble right now. And this is an example of a fall of an empire, right? This is an example of the fall of an empire. And people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Bring up the likes. And we're on Spotify, Podcast, Down to Earth Network, and on Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio. Right? So, right now, the Senate, they're working hard to remove Donald Trump from his position. They're working hard to remove him from his position. Oh, he said something terrible. He said something the other day about Obama again. He has beef with Obama big time. He said when Jesse Jackson never liked Obama, he hated Obama's guts. So that's why they're saying he's not right in his head and he's senile and stuff like that. That's why, because he's just saying anything out of his mouth, right? You guys are going back and forth talking about slavery and ancestor stuff. Tea company is capable of showing more remorse and accountability. Man, this shows you example. There's big separation in America, man. There's a big separation in America. Well, there was, look, people had to fight for their rights in the 60s. So black people had to eat from different places, you know, it was segregated, right? So that shows you example of America was segregated in the 60s. And before that, forever, it was segregated. And that's why there's still this separation and people going back and forth, right? It didn't end. Just because civil right people got their rights, it didn't end, right? People don't like each other. But, anyways, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. The Down to Earth Network is on Spotify and is on Apple Podcasts and is on iHeartRadio. This guy, right? This guy, they're fighting to get rid of him, right? So that's what's going on. And I'm your host, Sean Myrie, and I'm out.